Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. Where we find ourselves is we're actually inside DONEGORE First Presbyterian Church here at Parkgate. And you can see a couple of lovely paintings there, which are beautiful. And there's also a photo here of the Reverend Henry Cook, who I mentioned in another wee video. And of course, he was the longest serving member here. So that was amazing. But we're going to go inside now and have a wee look. And there's a gentleman who's going to talk to us as well. And he's going to give us a wee bit of history and about the church. So you can see it's a beautiful church here. See the lovely windows. And of course, this church is slightly different than most Presbyterian churches because it's actually set out more like an Anglican church, as you can see. It's like the shape of the cross. But it certainly is a Presbyterian church. You see the balcony. And so this is the gentleman here. So I'm going to get him to introduce himself. What's your name, sir?
I'm John McCulloch.
I'm pleased to meet you, John. I'm Mark Porter from the Church History Trail.
Nice to meet you, Mark. Welcome to our congregation.
Thank you very much. So what do you do here?
I'm the clerk of session, which is the, if you like, actually the clerk to the session. The session's the ruling body in the congregation. We have teaching elders and ruling elders. The teaching elder is the minister. Ruling elders are those who work with them. And I'm the clerk of session.
So what actually would your job entail then?
Usually administrative. Also involved in communion, setting up communion, getting things ready, and looking after the general affairs of the congregation from an administrative point of view.
Yes.
And the spiritual affairs. Session really look after the spiritual affairs, whereas the committee of the church looks after the temporal, the
Yes.
practical affairs.
So I suppose really that goes back to the time of John Calvin then?
It certainly does.
Yeah. And he was one of the Geneva reformers, wasn't he?
He was one of the reformers.
He
Yep,
definitely was.
certainly
And
was.
I believe Beza influenced him greatly. And what did you call the other gentleman, if I can remember? The other reformer?
That was John Knox, was it?
No, the other one who threatened Calvin that if he didn't stay.
Yeah, the one who, whenever Calvin put his proclamation up and all the rest of it.
And he says, like, because Calvin was only passing through, and he says, if you don't say, so he actually brought the curses of God on Calvin, didn't he? And he says, if you don't, Farrell, that's who it was, Farrell, it's just come to me. He says, if you don't stay, the curse of God will be upon you. He was like an Old Testament prophet. He certainly was.
Real Old Testament stuff there.
And so you have a photo that you want to show us?
Yes. Photo here of the choir of the church when we had a very big, strong choir back in those days, and that's the moderator visiting back then, and that's the moderator shaking hands with the organist, I think, of the time, or some of the choir members, and the Reverend Wallace Bruce standing to the right-hand side there, who was a long-serving minister in the church. And my wife's actually in that photograph somewhere. She's actually in the back row there.
And which one is she? Just point her out there.
Right there.
Oh, very good. I'll have to get a real close-up of that.
That's her.
Very good. Yeah, she's not a bad-looking girl. I can tell you, you could pick them all right.
I better say nothing in grounds that men.
Well, you will have to agree with me, otherwise you'll get no supper.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how long have you been here then?
I've been here about 50 years. I'm just a blow-in, really.
How long, sorry?
About 50 years.
50 years, that's no blowing.
Yeah.
Certainly not. And what the village of Parkgate then, is it a quiet wee village? Or?
It's a quiet village. It's growing, though, as you can see. There's been quite a bit of housing development.
Yes.
So not huge, but some nice developments, fairly small.
Yes.
So the population back in 2011 was 610. So I believe it's considerably more than that now, but still it's not huge, but it's considerably more than that now.
I have to say, I'm absolutely gobsmacked and amazed. Such a small church, such a small village, and yet the history it packs is dynamic.
Tremendous.
It is definitely tremendous.
History of Presbyterianism almost in Ireland.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It began very close to here and developed from here.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Many of the Presbyterian churches around here actually came from here in the first place. Most of the outlines.
Is that right?
Apart from the Seceders, other churches actually came from here, we believe,
Yes.
in the first place.
And I suppose you could say there's a Cedar Church of Parkgate here, came from here as well.
It certainly did. It certainly did.
But we'll not get into that, we don't want to cause another row.
That was right.
Well, thanks very much. That was absolutely fantastic. And thanks very much for allowing us in here and allowing me in with my YouTubers to have a wee look round.
We look forward to seeing your production in due course.
So thank you and God bless.
Thank you.
So there you go, folks. What did you think of that? Wasn't that absolutely amazing? And I'm just going to zoom up here and let you see a wee window at the top there of what looks like to be the choir.
It's known as the choir window
That's the choir window.
because it can only be seen from the choir.
Oh yes, so that's why they call it the choir window.
In the room that was the choir box, and only the choir could see it. The
Well-
choir actually funded it.
I'm going to let you into a wee secret, because I used to sing in the Whitewell choir, and we used to have a blue robe just like those.
Okay.
So thanks for watching, and God bless.